Hello again. Blitzball Champ back here on YouTube with a brand new video. This video will pretty much be covering my thoughts on the rest of the draft, with how the Carolina Panthers used their remaining draft picks from round 2 to round 7. For those that missed the first video, my most recent video was commenting about my thoughts on the Carolina Panthers' first round draft pick, which was Derek Brown, the defensive tackle out of Auburn. So I just kind of want to take some time to give my thoughts on the rest of their draft picks. So, main key notable thing is that Carolina Panthers decided to go all in on defense in this year's draft. And, it might turn out to be a really good thing. So let's take a look. So, of course, we know first round was Derek Brown. Second round was Yetur Gross-Matos. Correct me if I said that wrong. From Penn State, defensive end from Penn State, 6'5", 266 pounds. It definitely gives more depth on the defensive end spot, and it really just looks like he'll give some good competition as far as potentially, a starting spot at defensive end if they decide to, maybe make Brian Burns more rotational between edge rushing and playing linebacker, which I feel like he's probably gonna be edge rusher, maybe on one side or the other. But this guy looks like he could potentially battle Stephen Weatherly, maybe Zach Kerr, and maybe Chris Smith for a starting spot on one of the ends. But we'll see. Next up, they say that he has the size to be an edge rusher. But apparently he has good pursuit and uses his hands really well. So and it definitely showed in the highlights that they did. So I think this is good. This adds more depth at defensive end and good competition for a starting defensive end spot on either end of the D line. Okay. So we actually traded and actually got another pick, number 32 in the second round instead of waiting until the third round, and we ended up getting Jeremy Chinn, safety out of Southern Illinois. The thing that they noted about this guy is that, he's 6'3", 221 pounds, is that he can play safety, he can play cornerback, and apparently he can play some linebacker as well. So there's been a lot of talks that, even though we didn't get Isaiah Simmons, this may be the next best player, if not better than Isaiah Simmons. So I can dig that. I can definitely dig that. Some of the notes they say is, he was a 4-year starter. Apparently has real good hands, great leaping ability, very versatile, and can cover deep, line up on the slot, and play some linebacker, and does well making open field tackles. So it'll be interesting to see how they use him. I felt like we got a little bit of competition at safety which of course Trey Boston is going to be one of the starting safeties, but I don't think Justin Burris has sealed it just yet. So I think this will provide some good competition at the safety position as well. But it's good to have a DB that can be versatile, that can play corner, can play safety, and can even apparently play linebacker. So it sounds like we really got a steal getting Jeremy Chinn. So I can definitely dig that pick. Can definitely dig it. So because of that, we didn't get another pick into the fourth round. So fast forward to the fourth round, and we ended up getting Troy Pride Jr., cornerback from Notre Dame, Fighting Irish. 6 feet tall, 193 pounds. Apparently they say he specializes in zone coverage. And they say that he could pretty much run and keep up with any receiver. So it looks like he'll be a good pick, to shut down maybe the deep threat. Because when you think about it, Josh Norman, he played a lot of zone. So we'll have to see how this goes. It's good though, because I like how Carolina is addressing the secondary early. That was one thing I was definitely hoping for, because now that we no longer have James Bradbury, we have Dante Jackson, and I know we picked up a few DBs. Seeing who we have, we still got Corn Elder. We picked up Notre Jamerson. We still got Cole Luke, Quinn Blanding, TJ Green. There'll definitely be some competition at cornerback, but I'm really hoping we can squeeze out another, really competitive, high-playing cornerback in this mix. And, we have to remember, Josh Norman, I believe, was a 5th round pick, and look at what he's become. So you never know, But I like that they're addressing the secondary. That's something that we really needed to address. So I'm thankful that we're addressing the secondary. All right, fast forward to the 5th round, and we ended up picking up another safety, Kenny Robinson out of West Virginia, 6'2", 198 pounds. So this guy played for the XFL. When he played in college at West Virginia, he picked off 7 passes and picked off 2 passes in the XFL. So, struggled dealing with academics in the summer of 2019. So instead of transferring, he went into the XFL. I'm not going to say that's a terrible thing. It could be better, of course, but he got a chance to play in the XFL, and was able to get 2 picks. So like I said, more competition as a defensive back. This one is another safety. So I'm interested to see how he does on the field. I would love to see how he does on the field, maybe, through the preseason, and just see what he can do. Next up, in the 6th round, we drafted another defensive tackle, and it's a Baylor guy, so that had the fancy Matt Rule. Bravvion Roy, I believe I said that right. Correct me if I didn't. Out of Baylor, 6'1", 330 pounds. So apparently he's known for playing nose tackle, and apparently had a productive senior year. He had a career high 5.5 sacks, and apparently he's known to be a strong run defender over pass rusher, which that'll definitely help. That'll definitely help considering how badly Carolina struggled in the run defense all last year. So this was good. This gives more depth on the inside because I know going into this draft we were really lacking in defensive tackles because we no longer had Gerald McCoy, no longer had Vernon Butler, no longer have oh my goodness, what's his name? Dontari Poe. So we were lacking in the interior for the defensive tackles. So this was good. This provides more depth inside the D line. And then finally, in round 7, we picked up Stantley Thomas Oliver III out of Florida International. He's another cornerback, 6 feet, 192 pounds. I mean, I really don't know much about him. They say that he it's not a big playmaker, but he has the frame and the speed to be an effective press corner. I mean, take it for what it may. More competition at cornerback. And just looking back on this draft, I felt like it addressed many needs on defense. The only thing that I was a little iffy about, we didn't draft a linebacker, but we drafted a versatile player that can play linebacker. So I'm really curious. Like a couple of things that I'm really curious about after this draft and going forward. So number one, we didn't get any offense, so no offensive linemen. It really sounds like a lot is going to bank on Russell Okung being healthy and being productive like he was in the Seattle Super Bowl run, which I know was a good while ago, but it really sounds like that's what this team is banking on with the offensive line, especially after trading away our best guard in Trey Turner. So I feel like a lot is going to be built around that. Because with the offensive line, we got our starting center in Matt Paradis. We got Tyler Larson, who can play across the line as well and can also play center. And then, we still got Taylor Moton. Like I said, we picked up Russell Okung, Dennis Daly. Greg Little, I'm still iffy about because, the concussion issues. I'm really hoping that he can bounce back and can stay healthy because he showed some really good flashes when he was healthy. So I'm really hoping that he can get back to being healthy. And but yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how the offensive line is going to look. Even just going into the first preseason game. So I don't know. That O-line is still a concern for me. It really is a concern for me. Secondly, linebacker. I'm really curious to see what this final starting lineup is going to be for linebacker for Carolina. Because, the plan is to go back to the 4-3. So, the 3, I'm pretty sure 2 of the 3 are going to be Shaq Thompson and Tahir Whitehead. I could see maybe getting Brian Burns in there, but I don't see him being the starting linebacker, mainly because he's known for his edge rushing. So they'll probably rotate him between linebacker and edge rusher, depending on what kind of scheme or plays that they're trying to run. But I still feel like it's kind of up in the air who's going to get that linebacker spot. I mean, who's even going to play middle? Is Tahir Whitehead going to play middle? Like, I mean, I don't know. What did he play in with the Raiders? Was he middle linebacker in the Raiders? Somebody knows for sure. Let me know. But Shaq is usually on the outside. But yeah, who's going to play middle linebacker? I have no idea. That's kind of a concern for me. But I don't know. Jermaine Carter's been there for a bit. Andre Smith's been there for a bit. I mean, Marquise Haynes and Christian Miller, they're both linebacker, defensive end combo. So I know Christian Miller showed some flashes last year. So I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting, but you can't really replace Luke Kuechly. So yeah, that's kind of a concern for me. And third, who's going to be the next big breakout defensive back on our team? I mean, I know we got Trey Boston, who had a pretty good year last year. He had a pretty good year. Dante Jackson still has some growing to do. He has the capability to make big plays, but he still has a lot of growing and a lot of bad habits to fix. He gets burnt deep a lot. Got to do better on the tackling. Like Dante Jackson, he's not terrible, but he's got a lot to learn. He's got a lot to fix. So I'm really hoping that, because losing James Bradberry was big. And I'm just really hoping that out of this draft, we'll get a really, really great cornerback that'll just blow up, that can really help with coverage. But it sounds like overall a lot of focus is being put on the D-line to make that pressure, and going back to the 4-3 to hopefully disrupt the run and get a good push on the O-line to get to the quarterback and hopefully make things easy for the defensive secondary. So that sounds like that's what the plan is with the way this draft looks. But I mean, I'm curious to see, there's no telling what this 53-man roster is going to look like when the time comes. So I'm anxious. I'm really anxious. Overall, I think this was a pretty good draft. I feel like some good moves were made. A lot on defense was addressed. Overall, I can be pleased. Not initially what I hoped for, but I can be pleased with how Carolina drafted. I can be pleased. I can be pleased. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. What are y'all's thoughts? Like, do y'all think this was a good draft? Do y'all think we neglected some pieces? Do you think this was a horrible draft? Were there any particular players that you really felt Carolina should have drafted or didn't draft? Let me know y'all's thoughts. I'm very curious to know how y'all are feeling after this draft. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching. This is Blitzball Champ signing off. Everybody have a blessed weekend, and I will see you soon. Peace.